Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Slalt Cast. I'm your host Daniel, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts Kobe, Joseph, and Caden. Before the episode starts, I'd like to ask that you take the time to please give us a positive rating wherever you're listening, and to follow our socials at Slaltcast on Twitter and Instagram.
And so I said,
Birds of Prey only made 200 million.
So, Birds of Prey had a budget of $84 million and it made $200 million, and you're calling it a failure.
Yes. Alright, let's look at Deadpool, because that was an R-rated movie.
Don't compare it to
Deadpool
other
had
$84 million movies
Deadpool
that aren't
Well,
that weren't
Deadpool
like
was
viral
like-
successes.
Yeah.
Deadpool's budget was
Deadpool was like
58 million, and it made 782 million.
Yes, but that is
worldwide.
different
Yes.
because there
Deadpool
was
doesn't
so much-
count. So many people wanted it, and they greenlit it off of just like test screenings.
Not,
wasn't
not
it?
so many
I
people wanted
don't
it. It was a
understand
vocal
your
minority.
vendetta against a female-oriented movie, Joseph.
No,
I feel
I'm
like
just
that's
saying it made nothing. That's not
No,
what
it
I'm
made a
saying.
lot of
Didn't
money.
make nothing.
It
It
made
didn't. When
you
It
compare
made
it to
almost
other-
$150 million profit.
Okay, not Spider-Man. The film Cats had a budget of $95 million and only made 73. So I think Birds of Prey is doing very well.
So you're saying that Birds of Prey and Cats are on the same sort of level?
No, they're not.
I'm saying that Birds of Prey made 3 times as much as Cats
It
did.
only made 6
For $10
million in its
million less.
opening. Cats is
What
fucking
movie?
garbage.
Oh,
Cats.
Yeah.
No,
Cats.
Birds of Prey. I'm not saying it's a bad movie.
And it's also
Any
not a
means.
failure. It just didn't do gangbusters.
Oh.
It's just because of the
Gangbusters.
reputation fucking
DC has.
DC
Also, you have to
have.
think it was an R-rated release, so that there's another thing there.
It's
And also that what we don't want to say is, but actually because it was women, I'm going to assume a lot of
No,
sweaty nerds
no.
didn't turn
Kobe
up.
bleep that.
do you mean?
But
No, I'm
also because no, Joseph does have a point, because the cast was primarily women. It probably didn't alienate.
It also had a shit
Fuckwits.
title.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
did
did
have a
too.
shit title. It should
It had a
yeah.
title change. How much did The Edge of Tomorrow make? Because that had a title change as well.
What was it originally called?
Because that's a great movie.
It was called The Edge of Tomorrow. It got changed to Live, Die, Repeat.
Edge of
Did
Tomorrow's
it?
a great
Oh.
movie, by the way.
I
It's
thought that was
fantastic.
a I thought that was like the second.
Yeah,
made-
so see,
Off a budget
Edge
of
of Tomorrow was
178
off a budget
370.
of 178 million, made 370 million.
Oh.
So not
Yes.
so much of a failure now.
I don't even know what fucking changed.
Yeah,
its
but
name.
that's Edge of Tomorrow's not a superhero movie.
Oh, but it
I
doesn't matter
mean,
what
Tom Cruise is a bit of a fucking pimp, so
it basically is a superhero movie. It's
No,
it's the same
because
summer
Batman's
action
not in
blockbuster
it.
movie that could be said the same for
I'm
any
just
other.
putting Thor: The Dark World. I can't believe how much it made.
It wasn't
No-
a summer
no-
action
no,
movie.
but
It actually came out in winter.
but
you know what
just-
I mean, though.
I need to move on to Thor: The Dark World because
Wait, did it come out in winter in America
believe
or
that.
winter here?
Winter in America. It came out in February for us.
Okay.
Wait, was that
Okay, it
Edge,
came
was
out
that
in February
was that Edge
everywhere.
of Tomorrow?
Summer for us, winter for them.
Is this Edge of Tomorrow or what?
Okay, Joseph, you're really quiet.
Am I?
and
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
you're really into this topic too.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
because he
angry.
just wants to hate on women. That's all it
But
is.
that is not.
Then why are you going after the movie so much?
I'm not.
What
I'm just
argument?
saying-
They've made money.
But-
It doesn't matter. The
No.
movie still made money.
Kobe, calm down.
Why are you angry?
Why is Thomas... Okay, when does Tomas Cruise go to space? When does Tomas Cruise go to space?
Tomas Cruise.
In the mission that is impossible.
Oh, Oblivion.
No, I'm saying, like, when is he actually gonna go to space? Like, here's the question. This is the title of the episode. Get ready for a 40-minute discussion.
Okay.
Which franchise is going to space? Actual space first. Fast and Furious or Mission Impossible?
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious. They've already said they're going
I've
to
already
space.
said it.
Yeah, but so have Mission Impossible.
Oh shit.
Well, I hope it's
And
Mission
I
Impossible
bel-
because I fucking hate Fast and Furious.
And Fast and Furious says they're like going to space, so they're gonna have shit set in space. But like, I'm sure Vin will just be like on a soundstage going, I'm Vin Diesel. Thomas Cruise is gonna be on like the next fucking ship to the ISS. He's gonna be up there for 12 years. He's gonna meet aliens, colonize Mars by himself. Like,
But this is the thing. Tom Cruise does his own stunts, so Tom Cruise.
Tom's Cruise.
Amadeus and Tom
Tomas
Scrooge.
Do you mean Aberdeen's Scrooge? Are you
Yeah.
okay?
Ebenezer.
I'm having a stroke. I'm having
Every
a
one of you got
stroke.
that wrong. in a period
Oh,
of
fuck
3
off.
seconds.
Fuck off.
You just gave me shit for getting it wrong. You can't cop it too.
Yeah, I know. You can't, Kobe.
See, Tom Cruise will actually go into space. That's the thing. Vin Diesel
what
is just
they're
going to sit on a
saying.
green screen.
All right,
You
that,
just reiterated
yeah, that is
what
literally
Dan
exactly word for word what
So
Dan
your
said.
answer is Mission Impossible.
Fuck me, Aiden. You just said the same thing.
Do cameras work in space?
Yes.
Like, does like a film camera work in space?
Yes.
Without oxygen.
There's a screen on the film camera. Or it's more like temperature and stuff. Like, does
Oh,
that fuck
yeah.
with the lens?
I think so.
maybe.
Because wouldn't it
And
frost?
like pressure, like the pressure.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah.
frost.
How's the camera? How's the camera? Okay,
It'd have to be a
Google, how's the
digital
camera
How's the
work?
camera work?
No, it still would. It like
No,
nothing.
it's made
nothing
of
would
metal.
really change. It'd just be lighting. How you would light the shot.
I mean, the light real easy. The sun.
Yeah, and also the ISS is really lit.
Okay.
But
Ah.
no, it's really
All
well
right,
lit.
you're
Like,
right,
it's
you
all-
guys-
It's like I know.
You're right
I
there,
know
mate.
in space you can't use like LCD screens because they evaporate.
Hey, if a tree falls in space, do you hear it?
Does the Pope shit in the woods?
Does the Pope shit in the- What a great segue to our weekend away.
Is a bear Catholic?
Wait, who shit in the woods?
The Pope. The Pope shits in the
Hey,
woods.
bro.
What does that have to do with your weekend?
Well, is the bear Catholic?
You're actually going to make Caden blow up. He doesn't understand what you're saying.
It's hurting.
So we
It's-
had another one of our world famous weekends away on the
World
weekend.
famous, only known by a couple
And
of the
because
world.
somebody doesn't want to do improv, we canned the sequel. The original apparently didn't make enough money.
Joseph, I want you to know that I'm okay with you not wanting to do that idea, only because I didn't watch Valerian, which I was going to do if we were going to do the improv show, because I was going to be Dane DeHaan from Valerian.
He was in that movie.
He is Valerian.
Yeah,
He is.
He's
He is.
Valerian.
I only just
the main character's in the movie that's named after him.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's him
Yeah.
and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yeah, it's him and Cara Delevingne. I didn't know
Is
that
she
was
the
Dane
city of a
DeHaan.
thousand Is she the city?
That's how far removed that movie is from my brain.
Damn.
Okay,
It's far
what
removed from
was a
everyone's
better-
brain.
What was a better acting performance, Cara Delevingne as the Enchantress or Cara Delevingne as Valerian's 1000 Planets or whatever the fuck?
Didn't.
Trick question, no one
El
saw
Diablo.
Valerian.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
didn't see Valerian, so.
El Diablo.
But yes, we had a weekend away
Yeah, Pope
again.
shit in the woods.
The Pope shit in the woods, and the bear is Catholic.
And-
so,
Fuck yeah.
And there were no bull sharks in the inlet.
No.
There were oysters, and
So I think
they
we
did.
shouldn't,
They
we
did
shouldn't
step
dwell
on
on this
them.
for too long. There was kind of... We were there for 3 nights, and there was kind of a major point at each night, so we should kind of step through those.
I was
And
gonna
two of them
say,
from the
give
same
us
bloke.
give us the big juicy stories. That's what we want.
Well, we've discovered that the Pope, in fact, shits in the woods. No. So the first night, we had we got a bit groogy. We played a cheeky bit of Rage Cage.
Well,
and
it
then
was
shit-
first night madness, you know.
Do you want
First,
to
exactly.
explain what Rage Cage is for those that don't know?
That's too much effort. It B-pong, but more.
But Rage Cage is a game that's very hard to explain,
Yeah.
but once you see it, you'll get it, and it's the most amazing drinking game you'll ever play. It is
Fair enough.
fucking brilliant.
Unless you get
There's just
stuck
a lot of-
behind a
a lot of
bloke
cups,
that
a
moves
table,
into slow motion
some
when he's
balls.
drunk.
Yes.
Hold
Anyway,
on.
so we played
Sorry,
some Rage
can we
Cage.
go back to
everyone-
Valerian? Did Rihanna play Rihanna in Valerian? Because she
Okay.
is not casted as anybody. It's
I'm
just
actually
as
gonna
Rihanna.
argue it. Everyone hold. Welcome to the Valerian segment.
Yeah, we're going back to Valerian. Hold on, because I'm looking at Google, and everybody is casted with their name and then their character name.
Rihanna played a character called Bubble, according to IMDb.
Oh, okay. Well, Google
Ethan
lies to
Hawke
me.
was in that. Ethan Hawke played a character called Jolly the Pimp.
Herbie Hancock, the jazz pianist Herbie Hancock, was in that movie. Is he in more?
Fuck yeah.
What is his cast?
Yeah, there's some really actual good actors here.
Yeah. Elizabeth Debicki.
There's some good actors, and then there's Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan's beautiful. Don't talk shit about my boy.
Dane DeHaan.
So Rage Cage got everyone a bit groogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things were getting spicy. It was spicing up. We were down.
Yeah.
We were down. There was a COVID safe 20 of us
In 2 houses,
nice.
that's a 9 in ours.
across
and-
2 houses. So we
yeah.
had 9 and 11. Never
You had
forget.
the-
2 houses, but we were all together on this first night. and we finish the rage cage. We come inside, and Dominic spies. Dom spies a bottle of Fireball sitting on the table, and he thinks, you know
that's
what?
Always a bad sign.
He thinks, you know what? Wouldn't mind some of this Fireball. So he goes and he gets. I can't remember who was getting to pour it for him, but he was in no state to be pouring himself. And he goes, he grabs a glass, not a shot glass, a
Like
whole
an actual,
glass, and just says, "Start pouring." And so whoever was pouring, it might have been Ben, poured in like about one shot's worth, and he's like, "Nah, keep pouring." He pours in a little bit more. Cole goes like, "Nah, keep pouring." Pouring a little bit more. It got to the point where it was an entire full glass of Fireball.
Oh, please! It's actually making me sick thinking about it now.
The king, the absolute king, gets the glass and just downs that shit like it's water.
Attaboy.
But as soon as it
Attaboy.
enters his system, you see that the little remaining consciousness that he had left just escaped, and he was.
It was like, you know, when the
in the
Dementor
realm.
comes through and sucks the soul. That we witnessed that.
It was exactly like that, except the Dementor was Fireball, and his soul was his liver. So immediately he's a bit shaky. Someone has the good sense to grab him in a bucket, and we take him outside. And within seconds, he is spewing in the bucket.
And like, and he's put the glass that he drank in the bucket.
And he's just spewed all
So
over.
Why did he put it
I
in
don't
the
know. So he's spewing in the bucket, but the glass is in there. So he's filled up the glass as well as a good like half of the bucket. I've never seen so much spew come out of a person.
Yeah, it was a lot
When
of...
it's fucking all Fireball, it's coming out.
It was
man.
everything. There was
It was
a bunch of
everything. It was a
beers,
day's worth
food.
of drinking and eating crap.
Nice.
So yeah, anyway. From this point, you can check our Instagram for a video.
Is it on our
that-
Instagram?
I posted it on our
fuck.
Instagram because it is one of the most both hilarious and revolting things I've ever seen in my life.
That video, like, this is the thing, right? When I first seen that video, like, Dugan sent it to me and I watched it, and I was like, fuck, I feel bad for Dom. Everyone's just taking the piss out of him. And then the ending, and it cuts, I was like, oh!
Yeah, so half of the boys were outside with Coco while he was vomiting, and the other half of the boys were kind of inside watching this all unfold from through a window.
So like
Because he was doing this right in front of a window. I was on the inside. Thankfully, I was not in the splash
No,
zone.
I was in the I was in the splash zone. My
do you want to tell the story then, Joseph?
my feeler trackies did not feel well after that.
They did not feel like
They
good.
did not feel like good. So basically our mate Fish, you may remember him from a previous podcast, was
Episode 8.
giving him shit because he was just vomiting. And then Dom he gave us that smile. It was a cheeky smile. You knew something was going to happen. And he takes off his shirt and you're like, okay, here we go. Big boys, shirts off. And he's standing there. He just grabs Liam's standing in front of him. He grabs the bucket and with the force of 1,000 suns just pegs this bucket at him. The glass goes flying. The vomit goes just from Liam's top to toe. Just covered in shit. I've got like splash marks going through. A couple other people got vomit on them, and he's just covered. Liam fucking runs away and just starts puking by himself because he's just covered.
Liam would have copped the fucking most of it.
He cops 98% of it. The only splash has gone everyone else. It was just from head to toe covered in vomit, and
It was the most revolting thing I have ever seen.
it was so fun.
That video is like
So the
perfectly
video is like a
cut.
perfectly cut screen because you throw it and you see it come towards the camera and it ends.
You see him hit it. It hits him, and you like hear maybe a millisecond of reaction. Just and then it just ends.
What you don't see in the video though was what I saw from inside the glass. So from the glass, it was like a fucking movie. We had like the perfect like cross section of everything happening. We saw the full travel of the vomit. We saw an absolutely covered fish. And oh my god, it was one of the most everyone inside was like fucking dry reaching and shit. It was revolting.
Oh, that would have been so fucking funny.
So that was kind of the major event of the first night.
Day 2.
Day 2, the big event the second day once again involves our good mate Coco.
Fuck, dude, he was on a mission.
He was on a mission. So the evening approaches.
No, this was not even evening.
The sun was setting. It's an important. The
yeah.
events unfolded over the sunset.
You know, like in Dark Knight Rises when he's driving the Batpod and it's like full daytime, and then he goes into the car park and then it's just nighttime. It was like that.
It was like
that time of day.
Okay. That gives me a crystal clear...
Yeah, I knew that's right, yeah. Exactly.
That
image.
sky was that like cool pink blue kind of
Yeah.
color. You know, everything was very nicely silhouetted. And that comes into play later in the story when there was certain
It's a
things very
surprise tool
nicely
that'll help us
silhouetted.
later.
So yeah,
Kinda
it's dusk, I think is the word we're looking for.
We went through all of that.
Anyway,
to just-
continue. We've got the picture.
It was approximately 5:49 and 34 seconds.
Oh, fucking
No.
God.
Our house was right next to the house we were staying at was right next to like a boat ramp, and so we're all kind of standing on the boat ramp having some beers, and we were trying to convince Coco to go for a bit of a swim. The water was like ankle deep before you start.
It wasn't ankle.
People.
It was about calf, like up to his
Okay.
calf. All right, don't.
But I mean, you're at a boat room.
It was-
That's probably
look,
not
it was-
a great idea, regardless.
It was
Well,
on
it's
the
not
boat
like-
ramp had nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
It's
it wasn't like what you reckon. It was like a small one. It's like going into like an
like
inlet.
a
It's
boat ramp for dragging in kayaks.
Yeah, it's a kayak one, not a actual boat thing. Like it was maybe.
and
4
yeah, the
meters
water is
wide.
less than knee deep.
Yeah.
So important things to note. We're not terrible people.
Well, you still are, because there's kind of this unspoken rule that with a body of water, no matter how deep it is, you don't let a drunk idiot walk in.
We would have saved him if he was drowning.
You definitely would not have.
Yes, we would have.
Yeah,
You wouldn't have. Neither would
would've.
Joseph.
Why
It
would
would have been one of the sensible boys there.
if he
probably
fell
Dugan.
face first in the water? I think all of us would have gone in.
All of us would have run
Anyone
in.
would have
Yeah.
jumped in.
Don't
Anyway,
try and high
Dugan.
horse yourself.
So
I'm not
about
high horsing myself.
about 10 meters from like the water line, there was like one of those nautical speed limit signs, and we're like, Coco, $50 if you go touch the sign. Just because we wanted to see him get in the water, you know? And he was resisting. We're like,
no, he
nah,
wasn't
nah, we'll do it,
resisting.
we'll do it.
He just kept asking, "Are there bull sharks?"
Yeah, he thought there were bull sharks in this less than knee deep water. Anyway, we convinced him to do it by saying that Duggo would go in with him. So Coco immediately
That's reasonable.
strips off, and when I say strips off, the man strips off. Him doing it in the nude was not part of the original bet. He just brought that on his own.
It was his own terms.
It was
that he
his
had to
own
lay
terms.
down.
Yeah. He wanted to go out with a blaze of fire.
And go out he did. Now, Kobe, do you want to pick up the story?
So they began to waddle their way across to the sign. None of them touched the sign, actually. There was a grove on the other side. It was about not even 100 meters. So they were walking there. And the amount of time from when the idea sprung up to when they did it, it got progressively darker.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to sit on my high horse, like Joseph said, and say, I never thought it was a good idea, but I don't have authority over Dugan. He's got the last say in anything, I guess. So he allowed Duggo and Coco to go in.
Because the issue was, if you ran straight there and back, you'd be fine. The reason why he let him go in with Duggo was just in case he fell over when he was far away, and we couldn't have got to him in
Dugan
time.
was like not wanting to have to go in after him because he didn't want to get wet, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, you know, Duggo going in. We thought everything was okay.
So,
Yeah, there was a plan.
Yeah, we had.
not really.
It was all sorted.
So they made their way across. They had their fucking victory lap, and they were coming back. Now the thing with an inlet is, and especially close to the shore of the inlet, there's a lot of shells and a lot of clams and oysters or whatever.
It was oysters.
It was oysters. So there was this particular set of rocks directly to the left, coming back towards the ramp from the water. And it was covered in oysters. It was
Yeah, there was like a good 5 or 6 rocks covered.
more than
But
more
also-
than 5 or 6. It was literally
It was like
every
an
single.
outcrop of rocks. Yes.
Yeah,
Anyway, but the important thing to note, way off to the it was off to the side of the ramp, very easy to avoid if you just
Ran
maintain a
straight.
straight trajectory.
now when you're drunk, it's very hard to keep straight. Am I right, fellas? So when drunk Coco was on his way back, he veered, much like Dugan's penis, up and to the
To
left.
the left.
And unfortunately, he snagged himself on a rock. Now, we didn't know this at the time, but
Yeah,
he had his back to us, fell, went to catch himself with his hands, and because he was in the full nude, and his hands were no longer cupping his member, his cock and balls, just ever so gracefully sat between his legs.
As he bent over.
And the silhouette, I will never forget it. If there was any more light, we would have seen his asshole.
Did you not see his asshole? I definitely saw it.
Not at that point. I saw it later. Anyway, continue with the story.
Anyway, we got him out of the water, and Joseph had the idea, I think he may have cut his leg.
Yeah, because
he got his torch out on his phone, looked at his leg, and then moved the torch down, and there was blood. It was like
there was a puddle.
It was a puddle of blood, and he gashed his foot, and it hurts thinking about it.
Because the way he fell, we saw him trip a bit far out from the rocks, because at the time we couldn't see what we later saw the next day. There was a rock completely hidden under the water.
Yeah.
With like a bunch of... So what's probably happened, he stepped on that with his foot, tripped over, one of his shins, like he's leaned on the rock with oysters and his shins, and he's fallen with his forearm on another rock with oysters. So he's come out, we've gone, fuck, like he's cut himself, like, because he's landed on him. So we checked his arm, it's just a couple cuts, it's fine. Checked, and I'm like, nah, he fell on his leg. I look at his leg, I'm like, there's a little bit of blood. I see, like, just in the, like, sort of peripheral vision, corner of my eye, just a puddle. I'm like, oh, fuck. I look and down at his foot, there is a cut about 4 centimeters long and about 1 centimeter wide, just pulsating blood onto the boat ramp. And we're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And he's completely nude still.
Yeah, he's nude. And
So
he's not even trying to cover up anymore.
Yeah.
Cameron, the absolute fucking king, picks him up.
Like a rag doll,
Dom's
to be
cock
honest.
rubbing against his chest. His
beautiful.
brown eyes staring me right in the eyes. Carries him back to the house.
No. Before we continue, how is he carrying him? Are we
like
talking
a princess? Like a princess.
style?
Like a princess. I'm telling you,
Damsel in
cock against
distress.
Cameron's chest.
Like a damsel in distress.
Just imagine big burly Cameron picking up Coco being like, I got you.
Cam was a trooper. He did the job that no one else wanted to.
Yeah.
No. So then we took him back into our house, put him in the shower, called the ambulance. Ambulance came. We got a couple photos with the ambulance van.
Did Coco want the ambulance? Because
No, of course not.
He was saying he was remiss and didn't.
Coco
want to
didn't
get
even
him.
know what was happening. He was that blasted.
Yeah. So
Fucking hell.
we partook in the game of 1 before 9, or 9 before 1, which Joseph failed on the weekend.
I know,
by the
I
way.
didn't. You guys just changed the rules.
No, we did. We said 1 before
Joseph-
9, and you didn't finish 1 before
I
9.
did.
All I'm
No,
going to say is,
you don't even know the story.
Joseph, you walked into the bathroom to take a quote-unquote shit with most of your beer still remaining, and you walked out of the bathroom with the beer level significantly lower.
was not
now, I'm not
significantly
saying that you
lower.
poured half of your beer down the toilet, but I'm also not saying that.
It was
Exactly.
one sip while I was washing my hands.
Sure.
And half the beer down
Yeah.
the toilet.
Yeah. All right. So, Liam and Dominic partook in a different kind of game. It's a bit of a variation, which is called 9 before 9, which is 9 drinks before 9 a.m. Also known as cunt. Holy fuck! What the
I was
fuck?
going to say, that's also known as alcoholism.
Yes.
Just alcoholism.
So they had been drinking at least since 7 a.m.
Oh,
I don't know about.
Fish
I don't know
vomited
about
during
Dom.
the day.
Yeah, I don't know about Dom, but Liam definitely would not lie about having 9 drinks before 9 a.m. And he said he did. So they'd been drinking since 7 a.m. plus the night before, up until it was about 6 o'clock, 6:20.
Because they went to bed significantly earlier than us. Because basically
they
it
did.
was when Dom threw the vomit. That was like 10:30, and then both
That
him
kinda
and
ended the
Liam.
night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both him and Liam just like passed out at that point.
So the ambulance came, they whisked him away
There's a nice photo of all of us in
Yep.
front of the ambulance on the Slalt Cast Instagram.
Yep, very
at
lovely.
Slaltcast.
And then that was basically the end of that night. I mean, there was nothing.
I think he didn't end up
Did
getting
you
stitches.
stay up and drink after?
Yeah.
Yeah, for a little bit, but I think at that point everyone kind of stopped drinking a little bit when like all the ambos
Well,
and
it
stuff
took so
came.
long for the ambulance to get there was another thing because it like wasn't urgent.
Yeah, because we'd already
Dugan
strapped
got him in the
everything
shower,
up,
cleaned his feet, bandaged him up.
Yeah.
And so it was the ambos were mainly because we thought he might need stitches. I think he didn't end up getting stitches. He ended up getting it glued back together. And
Yeah,
then,
well,
like,
he needed
properly
all that.
bandaged and cleaned and shit.
Yeah, because especially with oysters, if
okay.
you don't clean them properly, like
You'll
you
get-
can
Get
infect it and swell up
very
and shit.
quick.
So
You get
it's-
fish aids.
Yeah, basically.
It's like koala chlamydia.
Nice.
It's like fish aids. Does the
Yeah.
Pope shit in the woods? This week's episode of the Slalt Cast is made possible by you guys supporting us through our merch. Head on over to slalty.com to grab your own Slalt Cast merch today. Each of the designs are available on high quality t-shirts, and all of the profits made from merch sales go directly to making this podcast better. Currently, all of the money made is going towards funding our new podcast set, which means better audio quality and hopefully better podcast quality. Head on over to slalty.com today to support the show. That is slalty.com to pick up your own Slaltcast merch. Thank you for the support and we appreciate you.
And then Sunday, I think the highlight of that day was
Sunday
Anyway, last day.
Sunday comes around. And it's about midday. Oh, not even.
Well,
It was
you boys
earlier,
gonna have to
'cause-
take this.
Yeah, well, so it must have been about 10 o'clock. We realised we're pretty much banging out of grog. So
Was this was the last day you all left the Monday?
Yeah, we left
this was
Monday.
the
We had
Sunday.
checkout
This
Monday.
was we left on the Monday.
Yeah.
We left fairly early on the Monday though, so this was the last day. We're all
That's
out of grog, so we're like, you know what? We'll quickly head up to the Molly Mook shops, and we'll get some lunch. We'll get some more supplies because we'd eaten through all of our snacks and shit, and we'll get some more grog. So head on down to Molly Mook shops, and we order our lunch, and we walk into the bottle-o. And I see Blake standing there in the bottle-o looking into the cabinet, and I just knew at that moment that it was about to be an interesting rest of the day. Because Blake is standing directly in front of the cruisers.
Ugh.
And so, you know, his eye catches mine, and he's like, Danny, you think what I'm thinking? I'm like, oh, Blake, I sure am. Then we walk over to Doug, and we're like, hey, Doug, do you want to get some cruisers? And he's like, oh, fuck, Dan. That's a good idea. So we ended up buying about 30 cruisers between the three of us, thinking that we weren't going to go too crazy. Like, the plan for the day was kind of to go sit on the beach for a bit, and then have a bit of a chill afternoon. So we buy the cruisers, I think some beers were bought as well, a bottle of vodka and a bottle of Fireball, you know, the essentials. We get our lunch, we smash the lunch, nice chicken burgers, and then we head back to the house. We get back to the house, and you know, we go to the beach. I think we did actually end up going to the beach, and it was a bit windy, but so we left there fairly quickly.
Oh, we're there
get
for,
back to the
like
house.
an hour and a half. We were there for a while, and we pumped like a good, say, 5 or 6 each at like while we're at the beach.
So we're getting buzzed. Nothing too outlandish yet, though. We get back to the house, and Duggo goes, anyone for a cheeky bit of Rage Cage? And our ears were perked.
how many of us were there? There was 7 of us.
Something like
for
that.
the first
People
2
came
games.
and went
Yeah.
during, and honestly, after the first game, the timeline gets a little fuzzy.
Our friend Aiden doesn't handle alcohol extremely well because of his
No,
size.
he had a lot of alcohol though.
He did. He had a lot.
Yeah,
he was
he
a
did.
trooper.
He did. So the Rage Cage has a King's Cup, and the idea of the game is you've got a ping pong ball and you're bouncing it into a cup with nothing in it, and when you get it into the cup, you pass it on to somebody else. If the 2 cups eventually meet each other, somebody has to grab a drink from the middle and scull it, and then so eventually there'll be a tower of cups that is harder to get a ping pong ball in, and the person that behind you will have a singular cup, if that makes sense. So look up the rules on Google. I'm not a fucking expert. So there is also a King's Cup, which is the last cup. So if you're the last person to get caught up, you have to drink the King's Cup. Another rule is if the ping pong ball misses the cup and lands in one of the cups in the middle, you have to have that cup, and that, you know, resets the
And
cycle.
if you happen to hit the King's Cup, that ends the game.
So Aiden bounces the ball, misses the cup, bounces on the table again, directly into the King's Cup, ending the game prematurely by like
And
5
this
drinks.
King's Cup was a mixture in 5 equal parts of cruiser, beer.
Tequila.
Thank you for bearing the lead. Canadian Club, another beer, and then yes, it was a 1/5 tequila.
Fucking hell. Poor kid.
He soldiered on. So we played a second game.
But you could tell as
same
soon as
deal.
he smashed that King's Cup, and his brain function halved.
Yeah, he went into
was
slow
moving-
motion, and
He
when
was
you're
moving in
the
slow motion and in a very small radius from that time on.
when you're the guy next to him, you just get continuously fucked over because he's so slow. The ball just completely catches up to you every time.
Exactly. So Joseph lost the second game of Rage Cage.
I got
Valiant effort
I
by
got
everybody to
molested.
try and get me, but I was too good.
No, you just didn't have
I
a
don't know, me and
retard
Duggo had you in the
next to
cage. Duggo took pity on you because at one point you had 3 drinks lined up.
No, I had 3, and 2 of them were beer, and my body violently rejected that beer. I'm not a
There
beer
was a
drinker.
man
It
vomit
was
that beer. That was
Furfies.
hilarious.
the one was Furphy and one was VB.
You just talk shit about Furphy?
Oh, I'm not talking shit about Furphy. I'm talking shit about beer in general.
Oh, lucky.
I am not kidding. The beer touched the back of my throat, and I nearly
Did
instantly
it
vomited.
touch that dangly thing in the back of your throat?
The vulva.
Macaroni in a pot, that's a whap.
So
That's a whap.
So Joseph lost the second game, and from there it all kind of went downhill. I tapped out because I was sick. I had my first ever tack vom.
Good job.
There was a magical experience. I came out of it feeling like a
It's
new
brilliant.
man. It's like I'm born again.
It's a fucking great experience.
It is. I didn't realize it worked that well.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest.
Yeah, I don't understand people who don't have tack voms.
Joseph, you
Because
don't have
some-
I
tack
don't like the
because we're not-
sensation.
Joseph, you're not
We're
allowed
not
to
pussies,
declare a
Joseph.
tack vom as a tack vom after the vom. You need to say it's a tack vom before the vom.
Well, no.
You can't
Joseph
just...
will get too drunk, throw up because of it, come back and be like, fuck yeah, just tack more.
Those ones weren't tack voms.
Yes, no. So after that second game, a couple more of the boys rocked up and were like, it'd be rude not to play another one. So yeah, that's the memory starts getting hazy
Did I
here.
play
think we played a
after-
So
grand
then you guys
total
played. Then
of
you guys
4
played
games.
2
Did
more.
I play the third
they
game?
played 2 more. Yes, you did.
Oh my god.
You played 1, 2, 3, but
You
not
passed
4.
out on number 4.
Well, because I think I
That's when
So-
you were on the couch.
So Joseph was absolutely knackered. He got absolutely fucked up just because of that King's Cup. And I think who got the third one? It was Dugan.
I don't know, unimportant. So we finished the 4
Yeah,
games of Rage
unimportant.
Cage. Everyone's already pretty blasted. We come to a terrible realization. We're out of cruises.
you guys pumped every single
Yep.
cruise.
So
you
we
had.
send off
Yep.
we send off the boys to Molly Mook shop, and I give Blake the very clear instructions to buy every cruiser they have. Not just a lot of cruisers. Every cruiser.
All of them. Every single one. And the boys delivered. They came back.
Another 30, I think. They bought...
Yeah.
It was just all of the stock they had.
They're not going to have cruises for probably another 10
This
years.
is a small town bottle, so we've
Yes.
wiped them clean. So they get back with the cruisers, and Duggo suggests, it'd be rude not to play a little beer pong. And so kicks
Nice.
off a major beer pong tournament. I think it was a grand total of like 6 or 7 games of beer pong. Everyone played at least twice. And the games were all close, so everyone ended up drinking fucking 6 cups anyway, just because they were all like ended up being close.
And within this tournament, there was a mini tournament between Aiden and Cameron. Now, Aiden hadn't recovered, but he'd recovered just a tiny
Recovered
bit.
enough to not be passed out.
So that motor functions, he's not a pussy like you, Joseph. Motor
You stopped
functions
playing.
resumed. Yeah, I did stop playing. I know my limits, all right?
Ridiculous.
Fuck off. Now, Aiden swept the floor with camera on that first round.
Surprisingly,
It was-
because the man...
It was a marvel. It was a sight to behold. It was cup after cup. The second game between those two, Cameron won it. It was a devastating loss.
Fuck.
And then the third game, the winner takes all, and I mean literally takes all. AYDEN. Caden, you're naming your firstborn that.
Everyone, if you're listening to this podcast
Viruses.
right now, you have to
You
name
need
your
to
firstborn
name-
child Aiden. AYDEN.
You have twins? You name two of those fuckers, Aiden. None of this A-O, A-I, A-A
If there's an
bullshit.
AO in
It's
there, we're gonna kill the baby.
A-Y-D-E-N. If there's an O in there, the baby's fucked.
So basically, yes, what Kobe's alluding to is Aiden won the game, that third game against Cameron, and basically decided that he owned Cameron now. He'd taken Cameron as his slave, and then Aiden's still extremely drunk. Proceeded to go on a bit of a tirade, saying that yes, we all had to name our firstborn children after him. Call them A-Y-D-E-N. He then proceeded to call a couple of the boys' misses and let them know the happy news. And yeah, there was quite a few choices. I think that I had a short clip up on the Instagram story for it, and it was fucking hilarious.
It was funny. I watched it. I watched it one night. I think it was after work. I was so confused. I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" I was like, "Wait, who's he on the phone to?"
Yeah, no. So that kind of wraps up that day as well. I think by the end of that night, everyone had a bit of a vom. We had a fire on the beach that evening. Everyone was extremely dusty by that point. And then that kind of concluded the trip. So it was a fucking classic. I think this was the most damage to people that we've had on any of our weekends away. So, Caden.
Yes.
We all know you are part of famous band Verum Band at verum.band on Instagram.
Yeah. Yes.
You're also part of a cheeky side project.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah. So not last weekend, the weekend before. No, I had a gig on the Friday. We played at a place called Moe's Desert, and it's a pretty fucking sick venue. But it was a debut show for a side project that we'd put on with Tom. Tom's the drummer of
Wheel Drive.
And he's been digging his psych rock lately, like very kind of stoner rock kind of vibes. And he's always wanted to kind of be in that kind of band. So we always jam weekly at like a big studio space, and they will practice after us. And so he was kind of like, oh, like I've got some shit that I've been working on if you guys want to jam on it. And we're like, fuck yeah, we're already here, ready to go. Let's just plug a guitar and fuck around. So he wrote some songs, and they're fucking sick. Dude's got a really great sense of songwriting. Put some shit together.
The six senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, hearing, and
songwriting. So he put some shit together, and it was pretty sweet. And then we were looking at how the fuck did we go about booking the gig? I think he hit up Christian about it. He was keen to book something. He was just like, I want to play a gig with this. I really want to play a gig, and he's been dying to play like properly since quarantine and everything.
Before we go any further, I feel like you haven't said the name of the side project yet. Hey, Caden, what's the side project called?
Aeons. A-Y-O-N-S.
What does it mean?
Who was that? Man from
Aeons.
the sky?
That was like the kid from the back.
I don't think there is a meaning. I think he just liked it because it was kind of psyche, fit the bill, kind of looks the part, so there could be a reason, but I'm not 100% sure. He picked the name, he asked us, we were like, fuck yeah, sounds sick.
You just work here.
Exactly. But he was keen to play a gig for it, and then he started like organizing it, and he was like, oh, I'll get my mates Annoying Neighbors, which are a fucking awesome band as well, and I'll get you boys Verum to play. And he's like, you boys can headline. And we're like, no, it's your gig, you're putting in the effort to book it, it's your show, you headline. And I was like, oh fuck, like I'm not ready. I'm like, you're alright bro, just put some shit together and let's send it. So we ended up putting on this big show, big debut show, got a bunch of friends, had a 55 cap venue out in Burleigh. We opened up, had a lot of fun. The other band after us was like they're all the way out in Gatton, which is like a fucking country bumpkin town. And they were a mad band. They were awesome. Cool boys. And then we had the debut show for Aeons, and it was fucking fun because it was Tom's show. We were all like, this is your moment, bro. You've got to fucking sell it. We want to see you up there having fun doing you. And it was pretty sick. It was just
chaotic, which was fun. We were very unprepared, but still played it off really well.
That's good to hear.
Because we'd put the band together in maybe a month and a half.
I was going to say, this has been a very recent thing. I was surprised you guys are playing gigs so soon.
We put it together like in a month and a half, and he was umming and ahhing about playing, and I was like, well, we all played in bands for over a year, 2 years at least. I was like, you might as well just book it. We put some material together, we practiced it a couple times, we're ready to go. We did really, really well. We fucked up one song, which was the ending of the last song. But the idea is it's kind of got to be messy ending anyway, so it kind of sounded fun anyway. But it was a lot of fun. It was fucking sick. Heaps of people turned up. We all were doing heaps of fireball shots because heaps of people kept buying them for us.
Fair enough.
So it was pretty funny. But no, it was a great turnout. It was really sick.
And are you guys going to be releasing music under Aeons?
Yeah. So what happened was, on the night, we got live recordings of both the Verum show and the Aeons show. I'm still waiting to actually get the recordings back from the Verum ones because he fucked up the folder that he sent them to us in, so we don't actually have ours. We have a bounced out version of ours that we were planning to release. But Tom's got a full recording of the set from that night. So we were like, just put it out there. There's a couple free distributors online. Sign up with them and just release it.
Yeah, fucking nice.
So I think he's going to put something out towards the start of November, mid-November.
Very nice.
Just like a couple live tracks from the night. But they're kind of, they're just like very instrumental, which is kind of fun.
Oh, well, that sounds extremely exciting. So watch this space, I guess. Aeons Band on Instagram, all one word. I'll put it in the description as well, if for any updates, I'm assuming. And can't wait to hear some of that shit soon.
Yeah.
Now, Kobe, you've put something that has piqued my interest in our little podcast ideas chat here.
Is it Dane DeHaan?
Yes.
It's not Dane DeHaan.
Oh.
Dane DeHaan was in Chronicle.
No, it wasn't that.
That's a great movie as well, by the way.
When you say Chronicle, as in what, like the one with the
Chronicles of
goblins?
Riddick?
I don't know.
I was gonna say,
He was just in a
Have you
movie
never
called
seen
Chronicle.
is that the one with the goblins?
No.
No, it's not.
No, is that the Chronicles of Spiderwick you're thinking of?
The Spiderwick Chronicles.
No, Chronicles the one with Dane DeHaan.
Okay,
It's
if
made by
you
the-
had to rank Spiderwick Chronicles, Chronicle, and Chronicles of Riddick.
Well, Chronicle...
Chronicle
Riddick.
would be 1, Chronicle number 2, and then Chronicle 3. There we go.
No, there's no Chronicles
Okay.
of Riddick 3, don't be ridiculous.
Chronicle number 1, Vin Diesel number 2, and nothing comes after Vin Diesel. He's the end.
I think you're incorrect. I think Chronicle of Riddick.
Anyway, the entire bit was Dane DeHaan was in Chronicle, that's all.
That's also not the bit that I wanted to bring up. You wrote 2 monitors. Have you inducted yourself into 2 monitor gang?
I have 2 monitors.
And how has
Gang.
it changed your life?
Well, I streamed for half an hour, then all my viewers went to the Slalt Cast stream, so really it's negatively affected my life, if anything.
Fuck, that's kind of
Hold on. This Chronicle was... Hang on. It was directed by Josh Trank,
Yeah.
who directed...
Fan Four Stick.
Oh my god. Yeah, Fan Four Stick. And then it was written by fucking Max
Mary Sue.
Lantis.
Mary Sue guy.
Yeah. Wow. How is that? How is Chronicle good? What the fuck?
It's a really good movie.
It has Michael B. Jordan in it.
It does. So, streaming...
So did Fan 4 Stick. I don't know what you're talking... Like, that movie was awful.
Yeah, but do you want to know? I watched Fan Four Stick in Adelaide at a Jesus convention. It was one of the nights because I was extremely bored of Jesus, so I watched Fan Four Stick.
What, could you just
And it
leave
was more
the Jesus camp?
No, it was nighttime. We had to sleep with Jesus.
Wait, what?
I had it on my phone because I was like, I'm gonna watch Fan Four Stick this trip.
Fuck yeah.
And you know what? That was the most religious experience of the trip.
Really? Did it make you an atheist?
It did.
Speaking of Marvel franchise, the Battle Royale genre is the Marvel movie of gaming, and I'm not okay
Well,
with
they're all
that.
the same.
Yeah, effectively. There are really good ones. There are really good ones that are out there. But every single other one is just so boring.
See, my
and
opinion
samey
is
over
that
time.
Battle Royale is at the point where it's starting to transcend being a genre and now it's just a game mode again. Like you have games
It's just a game mode.
like Call of Duty coming out with like a battle royale mode in their game. They're talking about like Halo having a battle royale mode.
Because I think people realize it gets old.
Exactly. So it
gets old real
does.
quick.
It's like when Team Deathmatch was first invented. It used to be like the whole game, and now it's just a mode within the game.
Remember, like
Yeah.
with like
And
Halo and
now-
stuff, you used to have like to download the extra like pack and shit like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah.
on PC, just to get Team
So
Deathmatch.
I think I disagree with the sentiment because Marvel movies, like I guess like a year or two ago, I would agree with that. But now I think Battle Royale, it's definitely found its feet a lot more, and
just realize what it is.
there-
I think
it's realized what it is, and there are a lot of like good implementations of it now, and
See-
they're all like different enough.
That's what I mean with the battle royale genre. But the difference being that good battle royale games often are overlooked because of the battle royale game bracket that dominate the genre as a whole.
Well, I mean, there's still not like a huge, as much as everyone says, there's not like a huge number of like AAA ones in the space still, and like Warzone is the newest one, and I'd say it's the one that's winning at the moment, and it's like the biggest. But like PUBG still exists and is still going strong.
People still play Fortnite?
Obviously still going strong. Fortnite's
feel like
still the
there's-
most popping game on the planet, Joseph.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't
Yeah.
like.
It's still pretty huge.
But has it more just really
I fe-
sort of returned to a player base of
Fortnite
13-year-olds?
is winning
children?
at the moment because of its integrations. It's got like a gigantic Marvel integration going on at the moment. And then
Yeah.
also,
Kobe,
yes,
it's come
because
full
it is
circle.
it is PG and it's
It's
accessible.
free to play.
It's everywhere.
It's
It's,
on-
cross-play.
yeah.
It's free.
It's free.
It's the most
Level.
versatile game.
And at its
ever.
base level, it's a fun game.
It's like
Yeah.
the soccer of gaming. It's versatile.
That's
It's
actually-
cheap.
Not a terrible comparison.
Yeah, but soccer is actually fun to watch. But a really good implementation of the game mode is a game that we played last night on stream, which is Spellbreak, which I think is like real extremely creative.
I think it's fun because it takes away that aspect of I found a gold gun, I found a gold body armor, I found all this crazy shit. Now everyone's gonna get fucked up. It's like
It doesn't let you become god tier.
it doesn't really let you become god tier, but it doesn't play to like pure random chance.
So would you like
or,
to tell the kids what Spellbreak
mass-
is before we get any further?
So Spellbreak is a battle royale mode, but instead of guns, you have spells coming from gauntlets. And what I really like about the game is that you start with a gun at equal level to everybody else. And what sets it apart, which is what makes it such a better implementation of the genre, is how like being on a team and combining fighting, like the gauntlets you take, is extremely important. So it's really hard to explain. It's like Avatar: The Last Airbender plus a couple more stuff. What you're doing there?
It's pretty like fun. Like it's very just like basic. There's not a lot to it besides.
Well,
the
it's
element
like
factor.
it's easy to get good at, but it's difficult to master.
Yeah, definitely. Like
And
And if you want to see
And-
more of this game, I'm sure we'll play it again on stream. So if you head over to twitch.tv/SlaltCast, smack that little follow button, you'll get a notification whenever we go live. We stream Mondays and Wednesdays, and then also other days if we feel like it, but always on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays.
Wednesdays. What was I gonna say now? I
Someone
forget.
about Spellbreak again.
Yeah. It feels like to me that the game's lifespan is going to be relatively short-lived. It's going to be a lot like
Potentially.
Lawbreakers or that Battle Royale where there
I
was
don't think
money
anything
involved.
was like Lawbreakers. That game never. Spellbreak at least is getting to exist. That game. I think it's.
I don't think I
That game
remember
was good.
That game ever
Nobody
coming out.
gave that game
Nobody
a chance.
gave
and
that
it
game a
was
chance
There's a
fantastic.
lot of
because
good
it
games
was
that don't get
just
a chance.
another 5v5 shooter in a sea of 5v5 shooters. There was nothing too remarkable about it. We can get into
No, but it
Lawbreakers
was
on a different
very good.
podcast.
It's like
'cause,
it's
yeah,
like
it is
Titanfall,
interesting.
as in it's really good, but no one played it.
Titanfall 2 was the best video game ever made.
Okay, I
I
wouldn't die on
disagree.
that hill, Dan. Save it for something
Well,
else.
Ratchet and
Save it
Clank.
for
It's
something
the
else.
best.
Ratchet and Clank
Okay, it's the
1.
best single player story in a first person shooter ever made, and it has some of the most fun, like deep, good feeling online multiplayer of any first person shooter ever. And it just got killed by the fact that it released in between Call of Duty and Battlefield in that year.
Do you think that focusing on multiplayer games is in itself kind of a futile task?
No.
No, multiplayer is what keeps the game alive. You don't see people replaying a story 30 times.
Yeah, but in the sense of there's always going to be the one option that is always better and always going to be more
Well,
played.
I think a multiplayer is the way for a game to kind of get discovered and, as Joseph said, stay alive these days. Like, if you look at... A perfect example is Among Us, which is fucking popping on Twitch right now. So it's really only multiplayer games that really pop off on Twitch like that. And then a game going nuts on Twitch and YouTube is what makes or breaks a game in like today's age. Especially for like those kind of like middle range budget, like AA type games, even indie games. If Twitch grabs it and runs with it, like, the game's going to do well.
Yeah.
But don't you also think, like, for every Among Us, there's
Lawbreakers?
a million...
Absolutely.
Yeah, and which, not to say that Among Us isn't a bad game, because it definitely isn't. It's extremely fun. But the difference in quality and production value, that Lawbreakers failed not because of the quality of the game, but just because there was too much of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, games are this. If we want to tie this, hey, look at this. We're going right back to the first topic of the show. If you want to tie it into movies, the games are the exact same. There's like 1,000 games a year, and 10 is successful.
You kind of it has to stand out for like a various number of reasons. It either has to be so like simple to the point where just genuine fun is what draws people in, or it has to have like some kind of out there method thinking to create something new.
And it's also just the
To that
unfortunate.
genre?
It's also just the unfortunate reality that sometimes a good game is going to go unnoticed and like underplayed.
Very, very true.
But don't you think that a game like Spellbreak, for all its successes, is going to like not burn for as long as it should, just because
it all depends
of
on
the
how
other
they
options.
run with the game. It
depends
be
when
exactly
when
what
the
it
next
is.
closest thing comes out. If another thing doesn't come out for a while after it, it might have a bit sort of a longer.
I think honestly, Spellbreak
Yeah.
got killed by Among Us. It came out at about the same time Among Us started popping off.
I didn't even know Spellbreak was a thing, so that kind of gives you a.
Exactly.
It is fantastic. You should play it.
I think it comes down to like where they go from here, because if it starts picking up traction, which it kind of is, they can choose to implement things that draws more people in and has people like stick around for longer, or it can just be like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, this is a fun game. All right, we'll forget about it in a month.
I think that was a surprisingly insightful discussion to end on there.
Yeah. Wow, that's so fucking strange. We're never this insightful. So hey, Joseph, where do people find you online?
Via Garibaldi for pizza. If you want to look at pizza.
Pizza.
Damn. Hey Dan, where people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DanielF737. I tweet stupid thongs. And you can also go have a gander at the Twitch. I'm going to tell you that once again. We stream there Mondays and Wednesdays and other days. Twitch.tv/Slalt Cast. I'm having a lot of fun streaming. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun streaming with me. Be sure to go and catch the Twitch. It's a lot of fun.
I also have a lot of fun streaming.
I do too.
So Caden, where people find you online?
Find my band at Verum.
I'm just
At Verum.band.
There you go.
To get it right. Because every time I get it right.
Boys, it has taken 21
He's
episodes
finally done it.
that the man has done it.
Oh, do we actually have that many
Yeah,
episodes?
this is episode 21.
Yeah,
Our
this
podcast
is-
can
this
drink
is-
in
Holy
America.
fuck.
Yeah,
We've been doing this for like months.
Actual?
Yeah.
yeah.
What, 21
Damn.
weeks?
That's 21 weeks. That's exactly 3 months.
No, 3 months is 13
Yep.
weeks.
Come on, you can do it.
Hey.
It's like 5.5.
Shut up. I can
Fucking
figure
hell.
this out. Hold on. 7. 21. You can find me at _55 Kobe 55 _ and south _bound _ben on Instagram.
And also be sure to head over and check out Kobe's Twitch, twitch.tv/55kobe55.
Yes, please.
He streams on
If you
Tuesdays
want.
and
I
also
stream
other
on
days.
Tuesdays and Saturdays and other days.
Fuck yeah.
But to close us out, I think that Caden should sing us a song.
Oh, okay. Do you want a guitar or do you want me
No,
to
Just
no,
sing.
no.
Do it, okay,
I can do
acapella. Joseph, lay down the beat for him.
Boom,
Oh, fuck yeah.
boom, boom,
I'll lay down the watermark. Go.
boom, boom,
Someone give me a topic.
Joseph Beats.
boom,
Give me a topic.
boom, boom. Why'd you make me start the fucking?
Just give me a topic. Come on.
Come on, just
shout a topic out.
You know,
Cameron's penis.
Single player games.
Cameron's penis. All right, it's Cameron's penis. Here we go.
Hold on, ready? I'll do the watermark. Ready? Joseph Beats.
That shit need to go back. Don't even go back far enough.
Yo.
I think that's not right. I should go see a doctor.
See a doctor.
Word.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to leave a positive rating wherever you're listening from, and to follow our socials at Slalt Cast on Twitter and Instagram.